Well, the title of my talk was the state of women in Japan at first, but as it's so wide or broad topic, so I decided to mention, focus on uterine fibroid, uterine leiomyoma, and show you how it is related to the state of women in Japan. It's about me. My background is medicine, as Kwesi mentioned on the first day of this conference. I started my career as a pathologist at first, but I had many blocks and conflicts, and the work and the relationships were so difficult. Then I resigned the job of a pathologist. I had trained as a GP. And then in the UK, I learned mental health and got certified mental health master practitioner. And now I'm a master trainer of mental health. I also qualified as a EFT practitioner or spiritual healer and counselor, the Home Flower Essence practitioner or transformation game facilitator, and so on. I don't remember all of them, but it's me. Thank you. Then the uterine leiomyoma, uterine fibroid, from conventional medical point of view. It's the most common tumor in a uterus. It is said about 20 or 30% of premenopausal women have this tumor. Benign tumor composed of smooth muscles. Physical symptoms depend on localization of a tumor. Difference of occurrence rate, 30 times much in Black people. It's the survey in the US. And risk and growing factors are estrogen and obesity. Now, perspective of mental health. Its target organ is uterine smooth muscle, germ layer, mesoderm, middle germ layer. Organ-brain relay is midbrain. Emotional issue is self-devaluation of not getting pregnant conflict. Will I ever get pregnant? Look at what she has. I am not womanly enough. I told you the occurrence rate in Black people is 3 times much. Thinking about this emotional issue, it is easy to guess probably Black people have a more tribal issue, and getting pregnant might be more important in their culture or in a subconscious or conscious level. Oh no. The first phase, cell plus, so tumor grows, and in the second phase, cell plus, so tumor remains. So they are basic information in organ-brain or directory of mental health. So most of you are familiar with these pieces of information. So they are basic knowledge about the uterine fibroid. And how is the situation of uterine fibroid in Japan? Well, this table shows the patient with uterine fibroid in Japan. The patient means the woman who had some kind of treatment at a clinic or hospital. It's not the number of women with, who had uterine fibroid, not the total number. Well, if you are looking at this table, the number of patients increased gradually from 1984 to 1993, the beginning of 1990s. And then number dropped down. And in 1984 and 2005, the number of patients are almost the same. What does it mean? Any changes of emotional conflict or no change? Well, to answer this question, let's see the old and modern figures of Japanese women. I picked up some photos from costume dramas in Japan. In this photo, a samurai warrior is about to leave, and his wife is looking at him from behind, always behind. Her main activity was limited in a domestic area, and her main charge is to take care of her husband, to take care of other family members, and the most important charge duty was to birth a child. They are more than 200 years ago. Well, legally, the situation changed after World War II. Legally, women were equal to men, and they can choose their lives freer. But in a cultural level, or in conscious or subconscious level, it was not equal. Oh, sorry. It's the photo of typical Christmas cake in Japan. I'm not sure if Indian people celebrate Christmas or not. Yes, oh, it's good. Well, but in Japan, it's very popular as well. And everyone, friends and family get together and enjoy and have a party. It's very, very popular and common. And there was a very well-known expression that she is an unsold Christmas cake. Please imagine, until Christmas Eve or Christmas, or on the 24th or 25th of December, everyone wants a Christmas cake to celebrate Christmas. But after that, on the 26th or 27th, its Christmas cake is meaningless. No one wants a Christmas cake. It's too late. So the expression that she is an unsold Christmas cake means she is over 25 years old and she is too old to get married. No one wants her as a wife. But the age of 25 might have been not so bad compared with some other countries, but still too early. So it was this expression appears in 1980s. Even in 1980s, women rushed a marriage, and the jobs were temporary for them. So once the engagement was settled, most of women resigned their job. Their main life purpose or life goal was marriage and have a baby, have a perfect home. So the role of a woman in Japan didn't change so much, probably more than 1,000 years. The situation really changed in 1990s because of a financial crisis. The salary of a husband was not enough to cover all the cost of family, so women were required to continue their jobs even after marriage. And more women set success in a business or success in a society as their life goal. Here you go. And children were still important aspect, but not the priority number one anymore. And unmarried women became not so extraordinary. Of course, there are some who carries a not single task, not single role, who carries many, many roles. Good expression is this. It's a son, it's a prince in Japan, son of Japanese emperor, and his wife. She carries a lot of roles, tasks in her life. At first of all, she needs to be a very obedient wife. And she is required to do many social activities as a member of the royal family. And she was expected to birth a boy. Girl is okay, but the royal family needs a boy because the status of Japanese emperor is inherited by a man. So it's no wonder he carries a huge burden. According to some media, she has some mental disorders. We talked a lot in the morning. So, but fortunately, she is exceptional. In my impression, many ordinary Japanese women can select a focus area in their lives, temporarily or permanently. So, what kind of emotional conflict do these modern women have? Let me share my own experience. It was about 15 years ago, I realized a mass tumor in my lower abdomen. It grew gradually, and finally it was huge, like this. It was 20 centimeters, or about 8 inches in diameter, and almost occupied my pelvic cavity. It was so stressful. At that time, I was aware of mind and body connection. They are related, but unfortunately, I didn't know mental health at that time. So I took some different approaches to dig myself. And the conflict I found was completely different from pregnancy. So actually, I was single at that time, and I was not interested in a child. Here is what I've found from my experience and from my clients in Japan. Its emotional theme is denial of femininity. Beliefs are, I should not show my femininity while I am working. Feminine behavior is not professional. I needed to throw away my femininity to succeed in a career. Being a woman is disadvantage in working. Feelings, disappointment, anger, sadness. One of my clients held a very deep anger to be at being a woman. She believed her career was not good because she was a woman. So anger toward herself, anger toward working area or colleagues, and anger toward society, very deep and big. It took time for her to release all of the emotions and conflicts. Then behavioral pattern is to mask womanly manners, being more manlike. It's what I've decided, and I've discovered. Well, looking back at the table that I showed you before, the new conflict, I suppose new conflict appears around here at the beginning of 1990s. So though the conflict about pregnancy still exists, But after this period, the conflicts about job or career are more dominant. It's my impression. That's why the number of patients gradually increased, and then that came back to the same level, probably. And one more thing, working with this uterine fibroid, I found limiting belief through bloodline. Its daughter is useless. It was inherited in mother's line, female line. Why? Because a daughter is to leave home and parents after marriage. A daughter does not pass down surname or family tradition to posterity. A daughter can't support parents financially or skillfully. A daughter burdens parents with the cost of education and marriage. My grandmother definitely had this belief, this limiting belief, because she said these things to my mother, and my mother held this one, and me as well. So it's the devaluation of femininity. Because she believes daughter is useless. She is seeking for a good husband, good marriage, a child, and perfect home, perfect family to prove herself, to prove her value. Because she believes daughter is useless, she is seeking for success in a career, success in a society to prove herself. Well, emotional conflict can be changeable, associated with the shift of a society, but underneath the emotional conflict, there may be a limiting beliefs that are often unchangeable and inherited. It's a summary of my talk. The number of patients with uterine fibroid in Japan increased until the beginning of 1990s and then dropped to the same level of 1984. New emotional conflicts have grown due to the shift of Japanese society and the role of women. The new emotional theme is denial of femininity, the reason of which is to get a success in a career in society. The limiting belief of devaluation of femininity is underneath the denial, which is often cultural, inherited in a family. Emotional conflicts can be changeable due to the shift of a society. It is necessary to consider changeable conflicts and inherited unchanged beliefs. That's it. ありがとうございました。Thank you very much.
A big round of applause to Miho. Whether it is cancer or fibroid, what we need to look is what are our limiting beliefs, sabotaging belief, and replace with the positive ones. And take care of our negative emotions and replace with positive. So any questions from anyone?
Oh yes, midbrain, yes.
Midbrain, yeah.
Yeah. So after the therapy, what happens to the fibroid?
Oh yes. Yes. Oh, thank you. Well, so as you mentioned, it's the brain relay is midbrain. Two more even in regeneration phase, two more remains at the local area. So I tried many natural healing or homeopathy or some other natural holistic therapies. It remained. So finally, I took surgical operation. But before operation, the combination of medical treatment, medical therapy, and natural healing, natural therapy were dramatically affected. Well, I took hormonal treatment for 6 months. At the same time, I did a macrobiotic diet. I removed all animal proteins, including milk or eggs, and I also removed sugar. So I ate mainly brown rice and fungus. Fungus means a mushroom as well, and beans. And about for 6 months. So it shrunk to two-thirds. It was dramatically affected, and my doctor was so happy, and the surgical operation was successful, and my doctor succeeded to remove only 2 more, and my uterus was saved, fortunately. Thank you.
Any more questions? No? So thank you, Miho. Thank you so much. Big round of applause for love.